Welcome in, everyone, to the Unash and Dukes podcast. Great to have you with us here today. It's a midweek edition. Mark Ironside set to join us here, and we will get to him coming up here in just a moment. First of all, big shout out. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Emil's Hideaway on First Avenue Southeast in Cedar Rapids. Emil's right across from the Lindale Mall next to the Home Depot, open at 4 o'clock Monday through Saturday. And classic local American restaurant with a fully stocked bar. They offer catering as well. And stop on by and see what they have to offer. Always very, very good food. And with Mark joining us, a big thank you to Kurt Gustafson Agency of American Family Insurance. Kurt, located on Johnson Avenue Northwest in Cedar Rapids, right across from the Johnson Avenue High V. Big wrestling sponsor, big Mark Ironside sponsor, big Scott and Mark sponsor. And stop by. He can take care of all your insurance needs, bundle everything together, and he's got everything at your fingertips right there for you. And go ahead and subscribe to us on our Unash and Dukes page on YouTube. Go to crmlivesports.com, Facebook, Twitter, X, what have you. We are a media mogul. Mark is. He's taking care of all that stuff.
Hardly.
Oh, no, we do. We get the word out, everybody. Get the word out. Mark Ironside joining us after a week in Croatia. Have you caught up in sleep? No jet lag left over after the long flight?
Not really. Honestly, going out and being there was way harder. Coming back, I adjusted right away the first night. No big deal. Right back into the swing of things. Never missed a beat. But going out there, I was only getting like 2 hours a night of sleep for like 3 nights. And then finally one night I slept through the entire night. Like never even woke up one single time and boy did I need it. So it took me a little while to adjust. It also took Stephen Buchanan a little while too. Him and I were on the same sleep schedule. He was falling asleep between his matches that day. I'd wake him up to go out and wrestle, but he was relaxed and he wrestled well relaxed.
Well, we talked on the last podcast, Mark, about the success of the men. Your pupil, Macy Kilty, came back with a medal. Looked like she did fairly well. Tell us about her performance.
Macy wrestled really, really well. Obviously, getting the bronze isn't what you went there for, but at the same time, it's a ranking tournament. It's not the World Championships, a development tournament. It's early in the season. We're only in February. The World Championships are in October. At these ranking tournaments, they don't seed anything. It's just a complete blind draw, and her side of the bracket was absolutely stacked. First round, she had like a two-time world champion, like age level champion from Russia. And she was gonna probably, I think, tech her. And instead she pinned her with that exposure at the end and got a fall in the first period. Second round, she was wrestling a girl from Norway that she actually got beat in the finals of a ranking tournament last July by, and then she beat her, but then Macy beat that girl in the repechage at the World Championships to make it back for the a match like on the backside. And then this time she wrestled her again, and this poor girl from Norway, she had a bye first round, so she had Macy basically first round for her because she had a bye. And you talk about a tough draw. Get Macy's
Mhm.
first match, right out of the gate, and she took Macy down first, but then Macy came storming back. I think she was ahead 6 or 8 to nothing, and then put her to her back in a scramble type situation and pinned her in the first period. So she was up 2 matches to none right away with 2 pins in the first period, and then she ran into Ozaki, a girl from Japan that Macy had wrestled in the finals of the 2023 World Championships, and Macy got beat by that girl in the World Championships in the finals 10-0. She got teched, and in this match here, she came out. She got down 5-0 in the first period. Battled back, almost had 2 or 3 scores at the end of that first period. Battled back, got a takedown of her own in the second period, and then ended up losing 5-2. But really had that girl on the ropes, big time, and was a match that she made some serious gains in. And from the last time she wrestled in 23, that girl was also Olympics bronze medalist in 24. And she's good. I mean, she is really, really, really good. And Macy's right there. I mean, she is right there. And we've watched that match and worked on things already multiple times. And I'll tell you something, that Macy, she's a goer. I mean, she is on you and in your face and always on the attack. And that girl from Japan, after she got done, she came over and she shook my hand and she sat down on the stage and she literally couldn't get off the stage. We went all the way back through the tunnel and we were sitting there for a while. And actually, I watched Kennedy Blades wrestle on the TVs in the back warm up area, and then I went and sat down next to Macy. And while I was watching the Kennedy Blades match, they carried that girl in. They had a carrier. She couldn't even walk. She was so exhausted. When they say you took everything out of someone, like took everything out of her, Macy took literally everything out of that girl. And situations like that, that girl's never going to want to wrestle Macy again. But that could be for sure a that could be the first. That could be there could be see a rematch of that in the World Finals in October between those two girls. I mean, that's the caliber of competition. And the next girl that Macy had for the bronze was also a multi world medalist, many times world medalist. I'm trying to think of where that girl, Hungary. That girl's from Hungary. Really good girl. Macy did the same thing with her, teched her and pinned her all in the first period. So she had three pins in the first period, and then just Ozaki's really, really good, and she was right there with her and almost had a few takedowns and just made a couple of mistakes in situations and couldn't finish, but she was right there with her and closed the gap from 10-0 to 5-2. So she's right there. It was a good tournament with her. And the thing that I'm really impressed by with Macy is not being around her at a competition until that weekend is that when she lost that match, it wasn't like end all be all type of situation and just like, okay, this sucks, let's go home or blah, blah, blah. She's so mature for her age and she understands where we're at in development and that she did make gains. And yeah, she wasn't like happy, like no big deal or whatever, but she basically is like, okay, well, we did good there. We got closer and that match is over. Now we got to come back tonight and get this bronze, which is the next best thing. And then we come back and heck, we're watching those matches in the airports on the way home and already strategizing and working on things. And she's just such an awesome kid. She's so mature and she works so hard. She's so disciplined and I really enjoy coaching her.
How'd you like the coaching aspect of it? You getting into it?
You know what makes it fun is when, for me anyway, to be in that situation to work with Macy, and she's really the only one I really work with on a regular basis. But is the fact that it's fun when you coach something, you do something, and then they actually go out and perform and do what we talked about and do what you taught them, and she responds. It's fun to coach someone when they actually respond and they don't just go back to old bad habits and kind of just do their thing and just kind of go through practice like yeah and they get on the mat and just here we go again. It's like, did you not learn anything? And she's not like that. I mean, she has taken what we've been working on since last Mayish, June-ish, and really and I didn't have to like build a wrestler here. I mean once I start working, she's already very, very well credentialed and successful at the senior level. We're just continuing. She's already got an amazing foundation. We're just growing on that foundation and just getting better. And she still has so much area for improvement, but she's literally like a sponge. I mean, a sponge. She wants to learn so much from so many different areas and she picks up on things well. And if she doesn't, we just communicate so well with each other. And she just grasps kind of like what we're working on and then go out and uses it, whether it's in practice or in the competition. So it's fun. And I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot about USA Wrestling, both from the men's and the men's side and the women's side when I was there, and being around all those people. I didn't know a lot of these people, especially on the women's side. So I met all the trainers and coaches and stuff. Terry Steiner, hats off to him. He was awesome. He's the head USAW women's coach and does an amazing job. So organized. Everything that he talks to Macy about, and as we're walking or coaching and so forth, he's 100% spot on, and he just does a really, really good job with those girls, which is obviously a good reason why that program is so successful. But Japan, they're up there, they're a step above right now, and that showed at the World Championships last year.
Mark, the men faced Ohio State in the middle of the night, Croatia time.
Yeah.
You're telling us that you watched it in Croatia. Did it look any better over there than it did in here?
Well, we were leaving. Macy and I were leaving. We had to be downstairs for the show at 5:50 a.m. And so, thank goodness she's very tech savvy. I hadn't used my TV in the room the whole time I was there, but she was able to bring down her computer or tablet or something or whatever, and we hardwired it into the TV, and she could pull it up, and we were able to watch it on the TV at 2 o'clock in the morning Croatia time. So we went to bed and then set our alarms at 1:45 and got up, and we were able to watch that duel on the TV. So and then was able to, once that was over, able to go back to bed and get about an hour and a half's worth of sleep before we had to get back up and go catch our flights to get out of there. So yeah, it wasn't the dual meet that I had hoped for. I was optimistic as we talked last time, and I thought, there's 8 matches that we could really win in this dual meet. I mean, we could legitly win 8 out of those 10 matches. And I think we won one of them, and that was at 174. I mean, we won more matches, but some of those toss-up matches, we only won one of them at 174. Patrick Kennedy over Carson Hartschla, and that was because Carson took an injury time, had to take an injury time because he got injured during the match. So that was our choice. We got to pick down to get an extra escape point, and that made it 2-1. So, I mean, had that not happened, we would have been back into overtime like the last time with him, and who knows what would have happened there. So, 30 or 25. I thought we had a chance there. I really, really did. I thought Peterson had a chance against Bozakis, but I tell you what, after watching that match, Bozakis is just that good. He really, really is. 33, Drake closed the gap on Davino. He really closed the gap. First time was like 10-4. The other day was what? I don't even remember, like
4-2.
4-2.
Yep.
So he closed the gap on it. He was in on shots this time and just couldn't finish, which, hey, we're making gains there. Drake's wrestling well. He's getting in on shots. Now you just go back, kind of like what I was talking about with Macy just here a little while ago, and we get into Ozaki and how to finish and how to build from there, how to work from there, how to adjust from there. Same thing with Drake. You're getting in on that shot. Now how are we going to finish that shot? And that's something that the coaches have to go back and sit down and work with him on and build from there. So at least we closed the gap at 33 big time there. So that was good. 49 was a really, really big disappointment. Again, that's 3 matches in a row now that I've been pretty disappointed at 49, just thinking we're so much better than that. And we're just not, all of a sudden, we're just not performing like we were earlier on. 41, Cale Peterson. I mean, he went out, he tried at least. He didn't quit. He put forth the effort, and I mean Mendez, who's going for his 3rd national championship. I mean, he's just that good. He's just a level or 2 above Cale Peterson, and Cale Peterson, give him credit. He tried. He stayed in there and fought as best he could. He just got out wrestled. Mendez is just that good. And then 57, Vojinovic, he won that match for us. 65, Caliendo looked good. I think he was, if I remember right, he was like 1 takedown away from getting the tech, I think, or something.
Major, yeah.
Or getting the major.
Getting the
He got a
major.
major, or he was 1 takedown away from getting the major.
1 away.
1 away. I mean, it's just that's the stuff, though. I know you hate to get down on someone because they wrestled pretty good and scored a lot of points and was one of the best guys that we had in the lineup, but when you're so close and you got so many opportunities that we have to know what's at stake there. And that was the second match of the duel at the time because it started at 57. That's a major decision that we have to get. We have to get that major decision. And then 74, we already talked about that. 84, Gabe Arnold down. That was a controversial call. I'd really like to know what. And then they reviewed it because Tom Ryan was smart and threw the cube in, and they reviewed it and they overturned it. It went into Ohio State's favor, but I would really like to know what the referee, what his clarification was on what allowed that to be a takedown. Because the way I looked at that, he was never fully around Gabe Arnold right there. Does he have to be fully around him? Well, the question is, though, then if you're not fully around him, are you in control? Well, do you have to be in control? I mean, I guess you look at a takedown, it's like you got to have control in order to get a takedown. I mean, what's a takedown with no control? I mean, I can't really. I mean, maybe look up the definition of takedown in the dictionary, or in wrestling or whatever, But he kept his foot up there. He did a really good job. Kept his foot up there, blocked his opponent, Fishback, I think it was, from going around behind him, and then he was able to hit a roll. But at the same time, it came down to overtime. What was it? 1-1 going into overtime. You can't let it come down to that. You can't let it come down to, the referee having to make a call like that and throwing out a freaking cube. You have to take matters in your own hands and not allow it to be in a referee's hands. So, and that's what happens. And then 97, we're just getting out wrestled there. Heavyweight. I talked to him down at practice a little bit yesterday. He was pretty bummed by that match. Just not wrestling like his style of wrestling. If anything, he just needs to get his confidence back. That's the biggest thing with him. He can wrestle, but he just needs to get his confidence back. So all between the ears with him. He's got the abilities, that's for sure. It's just between the ears.
Mark was going to ask you about the end of the Arnold match. I know.
Yeah, initially I thought Arnold had a takedown, and I know it was a really interesting scramble situation. I'm like you, Mark. I didn't understand what the referee. I would have liked an explanation as to what he saw.
Yeah, I would too. I'd like to know I'm not arguing with him right now because it was controversial. It could go either way, but from a learning standpoint, I want to know what evidence he saw to consider that a takedown. I just want to know from a perspective of, from a rules, I guess, perspective. Or was it just a judgment call at that point in time? It's kind of at that point in time, it's kind of on me whether I think it's not really a technical call, it's more of a judgment call. From a technical standpoint, I don't see how that was a takedown. And if it was, well, then explain to me the technical definition of how that was a takedown.
The whole point of that, I think Iowa only got a takedown in 3 out of the 10 matches. And granted, their opponent was a quality opponent. But when you only get a takedown in 3 out of 10 matches, that's not too good.
We're just not putting ourselves in a position that often. I mean, Drake did, but we're just not putting ourselves in a position that often to score takedowns. And in order to score a takedown, you got to get it on the leg attacks, or you got to get in the front head. And that's one area that Patrick Kennedy could really use some work on, is that front headlock short offense situation. He was there like 10 times against Minto from Nebraska. He was there a bunch the other day against Harchula. And we got no takedowns to show for it. 0. Like, if we're going to be getting here this often, we need to score at least once somewhere in a match. I mean, that's like being in on a shot. It'd be like getting in on a shot 10 times and not scoring. That's how it's the same. Basically, it's the same thing. You get a guy underneath you and you're on top of him in a front headlock situation. That's a freaking awesome position to be in. And to see him go to stalemates or guys to circle up and out and lose everything, it's hard to watch. Those are areas that if you're not scoring takedowns with offensive leg attacks, but you're getting there all the time, then we need to start focusing on that position to start utilizing it and putting it to use and scoring points.
Now, does it make it more frustrating then when 48 hours later, Iowa scores 146 points in the duel against Michigan State? Granted, Spartans are not a great wrestling power.
They're bad, Scott.
They're bad. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But everything you talked about, everything we've talked about all year, lack of aggression at times, et cetera, looked like a new team Sunday at noon.
Well, I mean, that's kind of par for the course for this year against the lesser, weaker teams. For the most part, we wrestle really well and put a lot of points on the scoreboard. We did beat Nebraska. That was good. That was probably the best duel we've wrestled all year. But against the tough opponents, when the going gets tough, we don't get going. And that's just the bottom line. We're just not. We just don't get points on the scoreboard. And for whatever reason, it's like we have so many matches where we're just not giving ourselves opportunities and chances to score. And they're coming down to, the end of the matches and we're losing at the end or overtime or, whatever. But against the lesser opponents, when we have that confidence and we know that, hey, we're way better than these guys, then they're firing off shots and getting takedowns. But what kind of disappoints me a little bit, though, to be honest with you, and I got to feel like I don't want to get down on these guys too much. And it's like, okay, they finally do something great. They score 146 points, but yet they didn't do this, you know? It's kind of rude a little bit, but at the same time, how do you have 6 technical falls and 1 major decision and not a single pin? I just don't understand how we can have six techs. That's a lot of takedowns. A lot of takedowns. You're trying to tell me out of 6 of those matches and all those points, they never had an opportunity to find a way to get a pin somewhere? Which shows me we're not even remotely even trying to pin someone isn't even on our radar. Like not even remotely looking for that. I mean, if you were that dominant, we would have had 3 or 4 pins that day. But it's just, and that, I guess, in a long story short, that's what I'm saying is I think the mentality or mindsets just like, I'm gonna take this guy down. I'm gonna pin him. I'm gonna get in a flurry in a scramble situation. Oh, I felt that. I'm going for that. We're not thinking that way. And if we were thinking that way, then I think we'd be a lot more successful in those matches that are a lot, supposed to be tighter and better opponents.
Mark Senior Night coming up against Michigan, and as frustrating as this season has been, Iowa's going to lose about 300 career wins between Ayala and Caliendo and Kennedy and Peterson, who's a transfer, but nevertheless, he's got a bunch of wins. Are you concerned about the near future of the program?
I mean, yeah, I am. I mean, I've been concerned for a while now from the fact that we just need to get these guys firing on all cylinders. We need to get them pulling the trigger. We need to get them finishing shots. We need to, see them make some big gains. And for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to be happening at the pace that we want to have it to happen. And now it's a situation where you got to keep up with the Joneses for the most part. That's not necessarily true on all levels. I mean, Minnesota, they don't have more money than us. That's something we talked about. They came in and they beat us. Now, granted, we didn't have a full lineup. We didn't have 25. We didn't have 84. We didn't have our normal 97 that we had at the beginning of the year, and that wouldn't have happened. But still, we had plenty of opportunities in that duel to win that duel. But I mean, it's a situation where we're going to go portal hunting. What do you got in the portal? What do you got in the bank account? And what's in the portal? And that's where we're at. So am I concerned? Yeah, I'm concerned for certain things and areas, but I don't look at it as like, well, Drake's graduating. We don't have anything there now, so we're gonna not be very good there. Well, I mean, we'll go find something, So, but 25. I think does Peterson have one more year? Can't remember. Is he senior? Yeah. Huh?
Peterson?
Peterson, yeah.
Peterson's done.
Is he? Well, that DeLuca, that backup 25-pounder that we have right now, honestly, I think he's like our number 1 guy right now. It's just unfortunate that the one match he wrestled at the national duels, he tore his ACL and had to have ACL surgery. So, but I'm very, very high on DeLuca. He seems like a really good kid. He's a freaking fireball. I think he's going to be really good for us at 25.
Good. Well, that's going on senior night. There's a little number 1 versus number 2 going. Ohio State and Penn State wrestled Friday night. Do you give Ohio State any chance?
No, none.
Okay.
None. I wish I could, but I don't. I think they'll wrestle. I think they'll wrestle Penn State better than anybody else has this year for sure. But I don't think they have any chance of winning that duel. No. And it's at Penn State too, so it's going to be sold out Bryce Jordan Arena. So it's going to make it even tougher for them. But Tom Ryan does a great job over there, and his staff, and they'll have them prepared the best they can. They're not going to go in with their tail between their legs and just let it roll over for them by any means. But I just don't think they have enough horses to contend with them.
You know any more about Ferrari and why he's not in the lineup?
Well, it's still his foot injury. I was down to him yesterday though, and he was on the mat yesterday and the boots off. So that's good. He wasn't live wrestling, but he was doing some stance and motion, and so it looks and appears that he's going to be back at some point. Definitely not this weekend, but maybe Okie State for the last duel of the season, hopefully before they go into the Big Tens. But I don't know for sure. But the good news is, did not see a boot on his foot, and he was on the mat. He was on the airdyne, then he was on the mat. He was doing some drilling and some motion and moving, just not wrestling. He wanted to, but Tom had to tell him, like, hey, I'm not doing that.
Well, Mark and I were talking earlier today that it's time now to come up with a lineup you think that you're going to take to the Big Tens and into the postseason?
I think we have it set. I mean, I think it's set right now. I think you're going to see Peterson and Drake and Bailey and Block and Williams, Caliendo and Kennedy and probably Ferrari and Sampson and Keeter. I think that'll be your lineup.
I don't like seeing Arnold out of the lineup. Throw him in at 97, see what he can do.
What's that, Gabe? Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You know what? That's probably something we will do. I'm sure, you know what? You make a good point, Mark, is we'll probably throw Gabe in there at 97. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, as long as Ferrari's back and he's at the Big Tens, then I'm sure they'll throw Gabe in there at 97 and he'll do his best up 3 weight classes.
You better
Hey,
get
Mark,
Go ahead.
No, Mark, it's Olympics time. I wanted to ask you, there's some crazy stuff going on over there. I mean, some of these events are just nuts. Like, how do they do that? If you wanted to dedicate yourself to being an Olympic athlete, are you more like, I'm going to do luge or biathlon, I can shoot a little bit? Are you more of a curler these days?
Definitely not a curler. No, definitely not my style. I'm more of a luge or I'm more of a cool runnings guy, you know?
There you go.
Yeah, I'm more of a like the cool runnings. Let's get the bobsled out and let's go, you know, or the luge would be a lot of fun. So, but I actually, for me, it would be the one where you, I don't even know what you call it, where you have the skis and you go to different, you run and then you carry your gun at the same time. And then
Biathlon, yeah.
yeah, that's me.
But you got to shoot the targets. You don't shoot anything else.
No, I'd be running through the timber and all of a sudden I see a freaking rabbit over there and I'm like, dinner! We got dinner!
No, that'd be a better event.
I do like watching that one though. It's fun. Those guys, I tell you what, it's not easy to have your heart rate up and your heart pounding and then have to be dead on and still when you're firing that air rifle. Like that's not your breathing is so incredibly important. So I mean, hats off to those guys. That's a cool sport.
It is. It is. I'm love the Olympics. Having fun watching the Olympics. So, all right, man. Senior night. You going to Purdue?
I am. I'll be there, Michigan on Friday night for senior night, and then I'll be on the bus, I believe, at 11:30 to head to Purdue.
You look really excited too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's been going a lot. I tell you, February and March are 2 crazy, crazy, crazy months for me to be gone. I mean, I'll be gone the next 4 weekends. This weekend's Purdue. What's next weekend? Next weekend is Okie State, Saturday, Sunday, because we wrestle them on Sunday at 5 p.m., but we'll leave on Saturday. The following weekend is Kid State AAU in Des Moines, so I'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then the following weekend's the Big Tens. And I get 1 weekend off, and then it's the Nationals. And then the week after the Nationals, there's a possibility I might be. Terry Steiner asked when I was leaving Croatia if I wanted to maybe come out to the Olympic Training Center for the women's national training camp that week and go out there with Macy and a couple of the Kennedy and Kylie and stuff too. So I said, just give me a call later and we'll talk about it. But right now, I just want to get back to the United States and kind of get through this next couple months here first.
Great time to be a wrestling fan and a wrestler, right now.
Yep.
All right, Mark. Thank you, man. Appreciate
All
it.
right. Appreciate it, guys. We'll talk to you.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, no problem. Next Wednesday. So we'll have some things to report back from, and then a huge duel to end the season in Stillwater, Oklahoma next Saturday or Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to it. Thanks, Mark.
All right. See you guys.
You bet.
Thanks, Mark.
Mark's appearance brought to you by Kurt Gustafson Agency of American Family Insurance, Johnson Avenue Northwest in Cedar Rapids, right across from Johnson Avenue High V. And whether you're purchasing a car, buying property, managing an investment property, starting a small business, or leaving behind a legacy, he can help you out and protect all your dreams at American Family Insurance. So thanks to Kurt. Thanks as well to our other great sponsors, Hunt Graphic Innovations, Dr. John Woolner at Epiphany Dermatology on Council Street Northeast in Cedar Rapids, 5264 Council Street. Bimritter Sportswear downtown and online at bimritter.com. And, of course, our presenting sponsor, Emil's Hideaway. Can't forget about them on First Avenue Southeast in Cedar Rapids, right across from the Lindale Mall. Open at 4 o'clock Monday through Saturday. I'm enjoying the Olympics. I'm having a ball watching this, and that's even without Snoop.
Disappointed in the curling. I thought the mixed doubles team would get gold. It was a really close match. They got silver. That's great. I don't know. This women's hockey team, either they're really, really good or the competition in the pool isn't that great. But that team's dominant right now. And I can't, I'm sure you've watched a lot of the quad god on figure skating. He's special too.
He's good.
Honest to God, some of these events, excluding figure skating, are just. I was watching half pipe this morning. They go back and forth, back and forth. I don't know how they do it.
Oh,
And
they're crazy.
Mogul skiing just looks like it'd kill your knees. I got a lot of respect for those athletes.
It has been a really interesting Olympics in the first 5 days because all of the so-called stars, aside from the quad god, have not really come through. The Italians have done well. Norway. We've had what was the whole thing about the guy that told his girlfriend or something he cheated on her? Then he broke down on Norwegian television. This thing has been just really every angle has been crazy so far in the Olympics. And I'm a bobsled. Give me that bobsled, man.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Yeah, these sports that you never watch are just so much fun. And then they insert some of the backstories of some of these people that I know one of the skaters, his parents had died in a plane crash a few years back. And just those side stories, I think, make it more enjoyable to watch. Um, some of the hockey players had a black girl for the Americans score, the first one ever for the Americans to score in hockey. And that's what the Olympics are all about. I think the stories more than the competition sometimes, but you have the Lindsey Vonn stories and others who come up short when they are expected to win, but that's competition, and that's why we enjoy watching it, I think.
Yeah, it is. As Jim McKay used to say, up close and personal.
Yes. Mhm.
You and I remember that when ABC was doing the Olympics.
We do.
And now, not so much. They don't say let's meet them up close and personal. That
Yeah.
was his line back in the day.
Now it's the Snoop Dogg segment at the end, so
I get it, but I don't get it. I mean,
I think that segment's. I think or somebody comes up with some good stuff for him.
well, the two Corys,
The air dryers on the.
that was cool. I don't get it, but it was cool.
Mhm.
The two
Yeah.
Corys from Duluth, God bless Duluth, Minnesota. Hey, they went for it. They went for the all or nothing shot in the eighth end. Didn't they didn't get it. It was a tough shot. Didn't get it. Opened the door for the brother sister team, and they won. I mean, you make that shot, and Duluth is still partying, as only Duluth can at this moment.
Yeah, I was hoping for a tie actually because I've never seen extra ends. I assume both team gets the rock, gets the
No, they
hammer.
they do not. The Americans would have had the hammer,
Ah,
so that's made it even more intriguing. It's not each one gets one and they keep going until they either fall over from exhaustion or whatever, somebody makes a miracle shot. But I didn't know that. They explained that. Our friend explained it.
Tyler George, yes.
That's right. Former guest on a different platform at that time. All right. We'll rejoin everyone coming up on Friday. Look forward to the weekend and a good weekend, more Olympic coverage. We will have a weekend, our first weekend without football. I hate to break it to anybody out there. Don't keep in mind the UFL is coming around the corner in March. And Mark, golf courses are opening. There are a few golf courses that are opening.
Uh, Temporarily, right? Yeah,
Temp-
it's going to be a little
Temporary as
soft
it
out
may be,
there. It's going to be lift, clean, in place, temporarily until the snow flies one more time.
which it
But
will.
that's good. That's good. It's good to see.
It is. That means we're closer to spring.
Yep.
Closer to spring. And wrestling tournaments, districts this weekend. Basketball postseason getting underway for the smaller schools. Crazy how fast it goes each and every year. Thanks to all our great sponsors, including Emil Sideway, our presenting sponsor. And we will talk again on Friday.
You got it tucked in.
All right. This has been the Unash and Dukes podcast. Thanks, everybody, for joining us again here today.